2nd at 1:57 p.m. Special Agent Mark Lucek and Sheriff David Ackerman interviewing Kyle Jones, Eureka Fire Hall.
Hey, good afternoon, Kyle.
Hey.
Come on in. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Kyle, this is Mark Lucek. Mark is with the South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigation.
Okay.
Have a seat. Thanks for coming down today. Greatly appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
We didn't want to bother you at work
Oh.
or anything, you know, so I'm glad that we could do this afterwards.
No, that's fine.
So, obviously, like Dave said, I'm with the DCI. Have you ever heard of the DCI before?
No.
Okay. So, what we do is we're an assist agency. So we help other agencies and other offices with cases that sometimes are a little bit bigger or they just need fresh eyes or outside eyes on. So
Okay.
that's kind of where I come into play. So I'm out of Aberdeen. Sheriff gave me a call. More than willing to help out. So, like I said before,
Okay.
appreciate you coming out.
No problem.
So, to start off with, obviously, you're not under arrest, right?
No.
Okay. You're free to leave at any time. Door, of course, is just closed for privacy. It's not locked or anything like that. So if you get mad at me and you want to call me over what's bad names or run out the door, more power to you. And obviously, if there's questions that I ask that maybe you just don't feel comfortable answering, you can just go ahead and tell me, I don't want to answer that. That's perfectly fine. I don't get my feelings hurt very easily. So if you just want to continue the conversation, that's fine. Just say that you don't want to answer any questions like that. Okay? Does that make sense to you? That's my little disclaimer of the day. So I'm pretty blunt and upfront and honest person too. So I appreciate that.
Me too, yes.
Okay, perfect. We're gonna get along great. So, like Sheriff said, we're here to talk about the Stop convenience store. You were the general manager.
Yes.
For how long were you employed there?
I went back there, I was back there for like almost a year, I believe.
Okay. So what year do you think you? I'm a little bit.
Oh gosh, I gotta remember.
Like 2019 or 2018? Because
I
it
think
closed in 2020.
Yeah, I think it was the end of 18, I believe.
Okay. So
I can't exactly unless I look back on the dates.
Sure.
But I think when I came back, I was back for like almost just about a year. Or maybe, yeah.
Okay. So end of 18. So safe to say 2019 and 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So when the stop closed, of course, when a business closes, they go through all their financials along with the accountants, right? And everything, just like a till at the end of your shift, it has to go to zero. It's got to balance. So, and that's kind of how we came in because things don't quite balance.
Okay.
So we're just kind of in the preliminary stages a little bit of this case. And unfortunately, you're the general manager, so you're the first person we call, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
So, what was your role as general manager at the stop?
Making sure the store ran. I did scheduling. I did bank deposits, me and Tasha. Food orders. Customer complaints. Dealing with employees. I mean,
Okay.
basically.
You mentioned Tasha.
Tasha and Barry.
Okay.
She was like the assistant. She basically did everything I did if I wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many people usually worked on one shift? Or throughout a day? Because you guys had a kitchen.
I'd say about between 4 to 6 people a day.
Okay.
Depending on how busy. We have 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner sometimes.
Because obviously you'd have to have one person cooking,
Yeah.
one person serving. Is that how it usually
Yeah.
works?
And then we had a kid shift that would come in and help. Kind of the 2 adults, you know, like break them up so
Okay.
they can do chores and help.
Finish everything up. Was there video lottery or anything? I've never been in the stop, so was there video lottery or
No.
anything like that?
No.
Okay, so it was mainly just convenience store, gas pumps, food. Anything else?
Not that I know of.
Like pool tables,
No.
video games, nothing like that.
No. We did have video rentals for a little while, but then they got that taken away because it was costing too much.
Because nobody watches video
No,
games.
No one watches that anymore.
You have kids?
Yeah, I have lots of kids. I
How
have
many
6.
kids you got? You got 6?
Yeah.
I have 3, so I'm very familiar. Um, I introduced my kids to DVD not that long ago, and they're almost like mind blown. You know, they're like, "What is this magical disc?" Well, it's, you know, so I get that. So kids are crazy. How old are your kids?
I have from 21 to 4 years old.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine are 7, 5, 7, 5, and 3. So I'm behind you a little ways, but I understand.
I started really young, unfortunately.
I started late. And I also sometimes say unfortunately. So
No, they're good kids.
that's great. So they all live at home, or do you have? You said the oldest one was 22.
They all live at home. One moved away though.
Moved away.
Yeah, he lives in Minnesota with his wife.
We're at Minnesota.
Foley, Minnesota. Like Malacca. It's like more north of. It's like 45 minutes from, let me see, St. Cloud.
Oh,
Like
okay.
north of St. Cloud.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's just like a little town like this.
Cool. I have family in Painesville. If you know where Painesville is, you probably drive through there to get.
I might, but I don't.
but
Yeah, I've
that's
only
right
gone
there.
there maybe 3 times to even visit him. So
Sure. Oh, it's a long drive.
yeah, it is.
It's Minnesota, right? So, okay, so mainly then your role as manager, so you'd also do books at the end of the day?
Yeah, we would
zero
just
out your tills and,
no. If I worked in the morning, and so I would just do the banking on our. We had like a sheet she had us write down, and then we'd count the money, and it would match on our paper.
okay.
And I wouldn't close. Whoever closed at night closed it on the till.
Okay, so the night person would zero out the till,
Yeah.
and then would they like take the zero tape, put it in the cash register drawer? and then
They
just
put
close it,
everything in
and
a bank bag and then put it in the safe.
Okay, and then lock the safe, and then the next day you come in.
Yep. Me or
Unlock it.
Tasha, whoever came in, we'd get the bag, we'd open it up, we'd count the money, write it on a sheet, make sure it adds up to the paper.
Sure. Did you have a weekly and monthly sheet as well, or just the dailies?
It was daily and then it added up weekly and then down monthly. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody's business does it a
She
little
did it
bit.
all by paper and pen, so it was just all
That's my
old
kind of-
fashioned. Yeah.
That's my kind of style. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of background in restaurants too. So me and my family, so I understand 100%. Like you have to have the daily.
Yeah,
you have
she
to
did
have the
nothing
weekly,
on the computer, so it was all by hand.
Computers is where I struggle. So fine. So when you did you zero out your till like when after your end of your shift? You said when the night or the what's in the evening comes in. Would you zero it out, or would the till run the entire day?
No, the till runs the whole entire day. She never closed it out at all
Never
until
close
the
it out
end.
to the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
So it runs like with all the employees in the same till.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then in the next morning, then you would do the deposit. Where did the deposit go? What bank did that go to?
Great Plains.
Great Plains Bank.
We didn't do it every day though.
Okay.
Sometimes we would do it every day depending on if she would call and say, hey, we need money in the bank, and we'd go put it in the bank. If not, we'd do it on Wednesdays or Fridays or.
Okay.
She
So
would kind of tell us when. I mean,
okay, so there wouldn't be daily drops then.
no.
Okay, so then we just keep a balance in the safe
Uh huh.
until it's all done.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you're making it twice a week, and you have 2 to 3 days worth of deposits in there. Would you enclose that with the monthlies, or when you go make a deposit, then you fill out the deposit slip?
No, we make a deposit slip when we take it to the bank of the 3 days. Yeah.
Right, okay, so
Yeah.
then when she would say deposit money in the bank, then you'd fill out the deposit slip?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be like a whole bunch of separate different ones
No.
in the bag?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we'd have tapes. Like we run tapes every day, so it'd have to match that deposit bundle. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
yep.
we'd have register just on the adding machine. That would add up, and then those 3 would add up on that deposit paper.
Did you usually staple all of them together or keep them together?
Yeah, they would stay all together. I mean,
Okay.
in the safe until.
So is that where you?
And
so
then
like,
we'd staple them, and then we'd put them. We had a file of all the. Yeah, we did have
okay,
a file.
that's gonna be my next question.
Yeah,
So
she
would
had
they
a
just
file.
stay in the safe, or would you put it in the file?
No, she had it in the file. Like just the tapes were all stapled.
Perfect. Okay. business has to keep reserve money, you know, in case somebody cashes a check or something crazy. You usually keep extra change in the safe as well.
No.
There was never.
We had like $500 worth of like coin change.
Okay.
That was it, like for the register. It was by the register for anybody to get into it.
Okay. That wouldn't be in the safe then?
No, it was not in the safe. It
Okay.
was in the drawer by the register. In like a little safe that wasn't locked. She had a lot of, let me tell you, when I first came back, she had lots of theft.
Okay.
And when I came, I ended up firing 3 of the people because I caught them stealing. And they themselves seen one right on the video camera and didn't even fire him. And I said, why? You need to get, I'm sorry, but she had no backbone. And I had to get rid of them. I'm not going to lie.
Heavy is the crown of the manager,
No.
right?
I mean, and then, you know, by the time the new year came and they were like, Kyle, in just those few months you came, we made $100,000 or something within like a 4-month span, and they were just like praising me for it. Like, because I was getting rid of all the, you know, some of them who were there, the riffraff that was in there. Like,
Okay. So you said you fired 3 people?
yeah.
Remember who they were?
Henry, I can't even think of his last name.
Berry Hill.
Yeah. Forrest.
Nicholson, Nickerson, right?
And I fired Steve.
Hoofman.
Thank goodness you remember those last names.
That's why he's here, because he knows everybody.
I used to.
Okay. And that was the only. Did they have one bank account when they made the deposit?
Yeah,
And that was
that's
at
the
Great
only
Plains,
thing.
you said?
Yeah, that's the only one I ever could deposit to. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure they had more accounts, but that was the only account for.
Yeah,
The
for the stop. Yeah.
Okay. When Wendy would come in, would she ever do the books?
Yeah.
She would do some too?
Yeah, she would do it. Yeah.
Okay. And because you said Tasha would as well.
Yeah. All between us 3, whoever was there did it. Like it didn't matter
Okay.
who was there.
Is there anybody else that would do the books besides you 3?
No, just us 3.
Just the 3 of you? Okay. And everybody did the exact
I take it back. Juanita did books at first when I first came back. Juanita was doing books too. Money.
Who's Juanita?
Juanita Huffman?
In relation to Steve?
Yes, that's her mother.
Mom? Okay. And did she work there or she just do the books?
No, she worked there too. She was in the kitchen with me.
Okay. How come she left?
She fell in the snow and cracked her shoulder and had a lot of health problems and she left.
Okay.
Basically, I mean, and she never came back after that.
Okay. Was that, so you started working there at 18, where'd you work before there?
I was at the nursing home, and
Is
then
that
before
your-
the nursing home, I was at the South
Okay. Was that nursing home here in
Yeah.
Eureka too?
Mhm.
Okay. What'd you do there?
as a CNA.
Nice. I don't blame you for doing that. That's one profession that I would not be able to do. Was there any other employees, because these 3 you fired for theft. Was there any other employees that you thought maybe stealing but maybe just couldn't prove it?
Christy Childers, oldest one that you don't live here anymore though. He was there and we thought he was.
Mason Palmer.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Why do you think Mason was stealing?
we just would have things come, like we would notice like he would say he paid for a pop and nobody's seen him pay for it, and it's like he took someone's receipt and put it on there that they didn't want.
Okay.
And we were catching little things like that, but we couldn't prove it because nobody like couldn't see him actually, like, nobody said they paid for it, but he would have a receipt, and we'd like, how'd you get that receipt? Like,
So like merchandise stuff?
yeah,
not
merchandise
cash,
stuff,
okay.
yeah.
What about the other ones? What, Henry, Forrest, and Steve? Were they like merchandise theft?
No, that's
or
money theft.
they were
like,
money theft?
Yeah, like, money was going missing in the change box, like, that's when I would start, I started for a while, I got a lock for it, and we had, like, a person was highlighted on the schedule who was in charge of the money that day and had to count it, and then the next shift had to count it to make sure it was still 500, and then that night they had to count it again together, and then initial a paper, because it was nonstop stealing in there.
Okay. Did you keep that throughout the entire time that you were manager, or did that kind of stop when you got rid of the problem?
It kind of stopped, and then towards the end, Wendy brought it back again, and then we would all do it again.
Okay. Where would those sheets go? Like, would you
I think
file
she
them
threw
with
them
the
away. No,
receipts, or?
I think Wendy threw them away. Yeah, she never kept them. She would have it taped on the thing, and then when it filled, she would tape another one on, and I think she just tossed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about charge accounts? Did
Uh,
like employees have charge accounts?
Mhm.
So what would happen, let's say, you fired Henry, and he had a charge account with $50 on it. Would that come out of a paycheck, or how would you do that?
At
How would
first,
you
she
handle
didn't. For Henry, he has a lot of charges over there, let me tell you. He has
Okay.
bounce checks, he has probably over $2,000 of charges. And
Okay.
she never got anything, she never even took out her last checks. She started to, towards the end, when people would leave, I said, take it out of their check. Because at first she says, well, I'm not gonna take it out of their check. I said, why not? You're just losing your money.
Okay.
Because when the rule was, when you got paid, you had to pay your $25 that you spent, because we had like a limit of $25 a week. That was all you can spend at the store, and if you didn't pay it at your check, you couldn't charge until you paid it off. That was
Okay.
what their rule was. But there was people just charging and charging when I first got there,
Charge accounts are
like
illegal.
hundreds of dollars.
Okay. What was the biggest one you think you ever saw? Henry's?
Oh yeah, over $1,000 easily.
Okay.
Of random little charges all stapled together.
And you said when you got paid, so were you paid weekly?
No, every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, bi-weekly?
Yeah, bi-weekly.
Okay. So they'd have to zero out your charge account every 2 weeks.
And that would be on that sheet where we do daily. We'd write their name next to it, and then
My
it,
next question,
yeah,
how do you do that?
they wrote their name, and it'd say I did $60, I do Kyle, $60, and then it would be in the balance on it, and then we staple it, and it'd go in a file.
Okay.
Yeah, all the charges were in a file too.
So if somebody, like it's payday and they receive on account, how would you log that into the books?
What do you mean?
Like, I worked there, I had $20 on my charge account, I get paid, so you're my boss, I give you $20 to go on the account. Your cash register would be $20 long, how would you?
Oh,
receive
yeah,
that?
so then, okay, so we ring it up through the register, and it's $20 long, and then the next day, whoever did the money, it'd be $20, and that charge would be in the slip, so we know it'd be $20 over, and we'd write,
Like ROA received on
yeah,
account or
ROA,
something
yes,
like that,
and
or
write their
account
name,
paid?
and then it'd balance out.
Okay, gotcha. Did everybody pretty much charge?
Yes,
Everybody.
everybody.
Okay. Do you remember towards the end who had the biggest charge account, you think?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't remember honestly.
Do you remember when it closed, how did you rectify all those accounts? Everybody just paid?
I left before it closed.
You left before it closed?
Yes.
Okay.
I left at the end of September, and they didn't close until October something in the middle. Because they
Okay.
said that they were closing, and I have 6 kids, I'm the only one that works, so I had to go find something. Because
Okay.
I can't afford to be off and have no income, honestly.
Well, makes sense.
I mean,
Okay, so
I dropped over half of my income just by taking a little job that I got. I mean, I struggle every day.
It's not like this is great times.
I
either
know.
way. So you actually didn't work through October, you ended in September,
Yeah,
and then you started working
right right at the
Right,
senior center,
senior
cause
center.
I got hired, yes.
Okay. That makes sense. So, while you worked there, since we're talking about money, did you have a second job, or was that the only job that you had?
At that time, that was my only job.
Okay. Did you ever have two jobs?
Oh yeah, I've got 2 and 3 and all at the same time.
Sure. So while you were working there from 2018 to, let's just say, all of 2019, 2020, did you,
I might have cleaned at the Lutheran church for a little while in the beginning, but then I quit that.
okay,
But other than that, I didn't.
how would they usually just pay you in cash? 'Cause, I mean, obviously they
No,
write
they
you a
pay me.
paycheck, but
Yeah, they write me a paycheck at the
they
church.
write you a paycheck
yeah.
at the church?
And I have taxes and everything taken out of that.
Okay. Churches and nonprofits are sometimes a little bit different.
Yeah.
They can get away with that stuff.
No, I had both.
Okay. So, your paycheck comes from Great Plains Bank. Would they write you an actual check, or would they direct deposit?
To write us a check.
They'd write you a check, so you weren't required to have a bank account at Great Plains?
No.
Just how many banks is there in town?
2.
Okay. So you probably bank at one of them?
I have account at both.
You have
of them.
kind of both? Okay.
They don't have much in them, but I got an account now.
I know the feeling. How come you have an account in each bank?
I have one at Roscoe Bank because my truck loan is through that, so I had to open one up for my truck payment.
Okay.
That's the reason why I got it over there. If not, I always had Great Plains.
What kind of truck do you
I had a 2013 Ford.
have? Okay. Great Plains doesn't give loans, or Roscoe just had a better rate?
Yeah, I had a better.
Better rate?
Yeah, they weren't so strict.
Okay. So, like I said, we're kind of in the beginning of this, but we're a little ways in, okay?
Okay.
So, we do have, like, kind of an idea of what is missing, of like a dollar amount, okay? It's not easy. Dave's done a ton of work, really good work, through the accounting parts, okay? So, that's why a lot of stuff I want to talk about was kind of like what dailies, monthlies, weeklies, because that's a lot of stuff that we're still probably going to go through, because there's a lot, right?
Okay.
So, kind of tedious stuff, and that's another main reason why we want to talk to you, is because you ran,
Oh, that's fine.
right? So, one of the other things we're going to talk about was ATMs. There's an ATM machine in there. Can you tell me about the machine? How does that work? We understand that the Vice own it, not
Yeah.
like a vending company.
Yeah, they own it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how that works? Because when I used to work in a restaurant, we had video lottery machines. So video lottery machines, they also the money goes to the state, but also goes through the vendor, right? Totally different from an ATM machine. But I remember the place that I worked for, that the vendor owned the ATM machine. So we didn't have anything to do with it. They would come in and fill it with money, blah, blah, blah. We would just benefit off of the video lottery, because it's an ATM machine.
Yeah.
People spend money on the video lottery machine. So, and every gas station has an ATM, okay? And
Yeah, that one didn't work very great. But
didn't
it
work
was
very
there.
good? Okay.
It was there.
I'm a little bit new to that, so explain to me how that works. That's why I'm asking, because I don't understand how that works.
We would fill it every once in a while, but we barely had $2,000 at a time in it. Sometimes $500, because I mean it didn't go very good unless it was hunting time.
Okay.
I
What do
mean,
You mean like the machine didn't work very good, or just people didn't use it as much?
like the machine would be like, because the internet was not good in that place.
Okay.
And so it'd constantly be running, and like people couldn't get money out of it, and it would be spinning and spinning, and they would just walk out like if they were frustrated with it.
Okay.
But like we would fill it when Wendy told us to fill it, or I'd call her and I'd say, hey, the ATM needs money, and she'd say, okay, we'll write a check for $500 or $1,000, and I'd go to Great Plains Bank, cash it, put it in the ATM, print a slip, put them in the bag.
How would you know that it needs money, though?
It shows it's empty, like it'll show on the front of the screen, it'll say I don't know, I think it says it's out of order, or maybe it says out of order, but it says something and it'll be like the person took the last of the money out.
That's the only way you would know?
Yeah, I mean, unless you could check it, but we wouldn't check it unless we've seen it, really.
Okay, so you'd only put money into it when it ran out.
Yeah.
So how?
She ran that ATM to the very lowest of low.
Well, I mean, I kind of understand that a little
Well,
bit.
because
you know,
it's little, yeah, and it
it's
didn't make
little and
much
it's-
money.
And it's overhead money and,
Yeah, because basically she'd put whatever she put in, then people would take out, and then it'd go back to the bank, and then if we need it, we'd take it back out. And
okay, so,
but like, I've got money for it, Tasha's got money for it, she's got money for it, Juanita's gotten money for it. Like, all four of us have gotten money for it.
okay. So explain to me how that all works. So, like I said, I'm familiar with video lottery, not so much with ATM machines. So video lottery machines, we would always keep a reserve. It would always be like right around $5,000 because you gotta pay out people from that money too. Would you do that with the ATM? Would you keep a balance in there? Because you talk about going to the bank
No,
and get.
there'd be no balance in
So
there.
you would have to go and get cash from the bank.
Yeah, like immediately if it was empty for some, yeah.
Okay.
If someone wanted money, we'd be like, oh, it's out, hold on, someone has to run to the bank.
So would you just write a check to cash?
Yeah, like I would always call her and say, hey, do you have money to get ATM? And she'd say, yeah, take out this or that, or I always called her when we needed ATM money.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
because her balance would be so low sometimes. And so we'd get, when I'd make deposits, sometimes we'd be negative lots of times.
Okay. Unfortunate that happens in a small town.
Yeah,
Businesses, that's tough. So I 100% understand that, which makes sense why she runs it so low then too. So, run me through that. Now you would you'd write a check for cash, go to Great Plains Bank, and then you get the cash, and then go to the ATM machine.
Yep, and you have to, I mean, it has the whole process, like it's written down on a paper. Press this, press that, and then
Is
it
there-
prints out ticket.
But there has to be keys to get into the machine, right?
It's codes.
Okay. You punch
It's
a
like-
code and
it's
the
like-
door opens?
Yeah, it's like a punch, like number code, and then you have to do another number code.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like a lock on the door?
Yeah, there is a lock,
Okay.
but you do both.
You do both?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you talked about the piece of paper prints out.
Mhm.
What's that for?
It tells you how much you put in the bank, or put in the ATM.
You're losing me. Okay, so you open the door, you punch in the code.
I
right?
put the money in.
But do you have to tell the machine how much money you're putting in?
Yeah, that's why I said you program it in.
Okay.
You say, okay, I got $500, I'm putting $500 in, it'll print us the ticket that shows it won't say $500, it'll say 25 20s or whatever it is, you know what I mean? It'll
Okay.
tell you by 20s the amount.
Because it only dispenses 20, so it
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's all.
So let's say there's only $20 left in the machine, but you know it's really low because somebody asked for $40 and it said there wasn't enough money. So you go to fill the machine, let's say with $100, but there's 20 in there. Would you
Then
enter in 100, like 5 20s, or would
No,
you enter
we'd-
in 6 20s?
we'd
because
enter
there's
in
a
6
120
20s, like, because she'd always have us do it fresh, whatever was in there, we had to
Okay.
reaccount for.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
Because sometimes, like, the machine would, if it was a bad 20, there'd be like, there's a slot of bad 20s that we'd have to like, maybe the corner was, so you'd have to straighten it up and then you could stick it back in there.
okay.
Yeah.
And then what would happen with the ticket?
It went in the bag in the safe, like, there's tons of tickets in there.
Okay. But over 3 years or 2 years' time, there would be more tickets than the bag could hold.
Every month, whatever was in the drawers and stuff, she took out and she'd put in a box.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And
Every
that's
month,
probably
and
what
then
would
it'd go upstairs.
go upstairs or to the accountant or?
No, she put it upstairs. She would only take the accountant the monthly sheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So, when you take that sheet and you put it in there, would you log that in anywhere else, like on your dailies, monthlies, or a separate So it was just by check?
Yeah, just by check, yeah.
Okay. And then where were the keys at to access the machine?
In the safe.
Is that-
In the ATM bag where all the slips were kept.
Okay, so like that's the only thing that goes in that bag is just ATM stuff.
Yeah.
So then, is that the same safe that your dailies and everything goes in? Okay, and then there's the lock box underneath of the till.
And
Those are your
yes. The
so
two
there's
things, yes.
two things. Okay. Sometimes I'm a little slow.
I know that's right.
Okay. So we're going through some bank account stuff. Okay. And Wendy told us this too, that they loaned you $2,500. I get it. I understand. Okay. Sometimes it gets tough when people lend us money. Did that go through the business, or is that just person to person?
That was person to person.
Okay. So, because I could see where they would do it both ways, but I just wanted to double
Yeah,
check.
no, that was just person to person.
Did she give you a cash, or did she give you just a
Just
check?
cash. She gave me
Just give
cash.
you cash? Okay. I don't wanna pry in your life a whole lot, cause it's not a whole lot of my business. But I'm taking it for cash. You probably deposit that in a bank?
Yes.
Okay. Which bank did you deposit that in?
Great Plains it should have been, because I didn't put much money in the other one.
Okay. Basically, that account was just for the
It was for
truck
my truck at that time, yeah.
loan. Okay. So, my wife is a money guru. I am not. So, I know sometimes we've had different bank accounts. So it was a pain in the ass between two different banks. So, if you need to make your truck payment, but that account's really low because you only use that for the truck payment, how would you deposit? Would you electronically deposit money in, or would you withdraw out of Great Plains and then put it in a Roscoe bank?
Yeah, I would withdraw it from Great Plains and take it over there.
Or would you write a check?
No, I've never written a check. No. I always go there and, right now I have probably $5 in each bank, honestly, right now.
Okay. It's
Literally.
not, yeah. Neither Dave nor I is gonna say that we haven't been in your place, okay? Maybe we are right now, you know, we totally understand. And that's why, when we're talking about the $2,500, I don't wanna pry into your stuff, but
That was just because I was behind on bills.
you do what you need to do. You have 6 kids, you have double the amount of kids that I got. And I know what it is to deal with 3 kids.
Dave knows. My sister went through a big thing at the store, and I would never be like her. I tried my hardest to make Wendy money. I would never steal from her.
Okay.
Difficult times, I'm telling you. I mean, you're the one that's out there. You're really pushing pretty hard, Kyle.
I work so hard to raise my kids. My husband doesn't work. I bust my ass. I'm not even kidding you.
And I'm not.
I have $1,000 electric bill right now. You think I could pay it? No. I have to make payment arrangements. I try my best. If I had extra money, I probably wouldn't live here. I don't know, but
And we understand 100%.
I mean, they were like my best friends. And when they came and gave us a week and a half notice that they were closing the store, like that just broke my heart. Like, what kind of friends are those? Like, I trusted them. That's why I came back to work for them a second time.
I understand it completely. Let me get you a tissue. What kind of gentlemen are we?
Oh, you're fine.
So, you have 5 kids at home?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine juggling 5 children.
One that's special needs has to go back and forth to Sioux Falls, and
Okay,
it's a struggle, but we manage.
I imagine. Is that the only vehicle you have? Is that
Yeah.
pickup? Okay, not the most fuel efficient
No.
vehicle in the world either, which sucks when it's, $3 a gallon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Kyle, so we're going through a lot of records. When I
Okay.
said Dave has been doing a lot of work, he's been doing an obscene amount of work, okay? And we did wanna talk to you, cause there's a lot of stuff, you know, that we're going through. And here's kinda what we came to. The money's missing out of the ATM machine,
Out of the ATM.
out of the ATM balances. Every time it prints that little receipt, Kyle,
Yeah.
it also, you know, transmits that to the company, cause it's like a credit card.
Yeah.
You know, you have a merchant that handles all the credit card transactions, they charge 2%, whatever like that,
Yeah.
right? So the ATM machine does the same thing. Vice own it, but it has to be operated through, somebody's gotta be able to access the bank accounts, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a merchant. They charge fees, but they also keep track. So anytime that machine prints out a receipt and the money is inputted at any given time, it records that, it transmits that, and they keep those records forever. Okay? We're gonna talk just about 2020.
Okay.
Okay? In 2020, it would be a total of $62,900 that was written in checks to go into that machine.
That's
Okay.
missing?
No, that's how much money was written between you and Wendy to Great Plains for cash for the ATM machine. Okay? Now, it also keeps track of money that's dispensed, right?
Yeah. Sure.
It has to,
Yeah.
because otherwise we'll be able to tell you that it needs money. That's $40,360. So obviously there's, at the beginning of 2020, there's money in there. There's money at the end of 2020, right? So we have to kind of sort of account for that. Dave is breaking it down. The number that we're short is $19,120. Okay? It's a lot of money.
Yeah, that is a lot of
Right.
money.
This is where he's found it. And this is what we're going to talk about. So there's only two people on the accounts to write the checks for cash. And that's you and Wendy, which makes sense, right? Now, Tasha said you did some too in Juanita, right? But Juanita wasn't there in 2020?
They would just put money in the banks, or in the ATMs.
Okay,
Yeah, like we would get it from the bank and yeah.
okay. I'm going to go down through this, Kyle.
Okay.
I think you're a super good person, and I don't want this to come off as me accusing you really hard.
That's fine,
Okay?
because
Like I said,
I put this on God. I've never stole from there, so
I am a blunt person.
yeah.
These are the checks that were written. This is how much money was deposited.
Okay.
Let's just take February 2020. $2,800 in checks were written for cash to ATM. So the checks you write ATM,
Yeah. On that,
machine
yeah.
owner, in the memo. 1,000 goes in. Only $1,000 went into that machine. That's how much we're short. March 3,300, only $500 went in that machine. We're short $2,800. And it kind of goes on and on. Okay? Money gets filled into the ATM. The ATM machine count is spot on. When they close the store, there's $40 in the machine, and the machine says there's $40. So basically what that means is it's not, somebody's not inputting the money wrong. They're inputting the money right. That money is not making it from where the checks get written in cash. Now this is a month total, not one check.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to understand that. It's not getting into the machine. The machine is short. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If we put together the number of checks that were written just for cash, that's how Dave got this number. But how, if we broke it down to how many checks you wrote, how many checks Wendy wrote, it's remarkably different. Okay? If you were the manager, you wrote most of the checks.
Yeah.
You were here.
I did.
It makes sense. There's only one way that this could be off.
But I didn't sell it. I put that on God.
careful, I don't want you to get struck by lightning.
No,
as you
I
walk out of
won't,
here.
cause,
Now, this is what I'm gonna tell you. You are not getting arrested today. Nothing, I just wanna talk to you about it,
okay.
okay? If I take this to a forensic accountant, it's gonna come back. I think I feel the same way. Dave did his part, and he did a wonderful job. I think super duper thorough. And then he sends it all to me, and I looked at it. I came up with a little bit different number, but I believe that his is better. We're gonna go with his number because it's lower. Okay? So, unless there is another way, Kyle, there's only one way that this could happen. And I'm afraid I want to work with you though. Okay? It's just sometimes the cash that is taken from the bank for the ATM doesn't make it into the machine. There's different ways that this case can go from today. Okay? And I don't want you to think that I'm threatening you or coercing you in any way. But as it stands right now, I could take everything that Dave has given me and forward it to the state's attorney, and charges could very possibly be filed and started. Okay? I want to be able to go to the state's attorney and say, this is Kyle Jones. Kyle has 6 kids, 5 of which are at home, and she busts her ass every day. We understand why this happened. Does it make it okay? No. But is there something we can do to maybe help you out? Yeah. Okay. We can't make it go away because it's never going to go away. But we can deal with it, and we can take it off the shoulders. Does that make any sense to you?
I guess.
There's different ways to charge a crime. And I want to explain this to you because I want you to understand. So, just like a traffic stop that ends in a DUI, you get arrested, right? So, we could arrest somebody for something and we could charge them that way. Or, we could take all the information that we gain, present it to the state's attorney, and request an arrest warrant. And then arrest warrant, they fill out an affidavit goes in front of a judge grants the warrant, and then there's a bond amount, right? You have to post that bond. And then there's this third way. The third way is kind of the way white collar crimes and gentlemen take care of things. And it's called a summons and complaint. It's because we think that that person is a flight risk. We think if we gave this person a paper that says, please join us in the wonderful county courthouse in this state in this time, that they'll come. And then we can take care of it without anybody going to jail. Okay? You are one of those people that we can work with like that. Not that I'm saying things can't get charged. I'm just saying I don't think you and me go to jail right now. I don't. And no matter what you tell me, if you can tell me that, yep, as a matter of fact, I stole a shit ton more than that, I stole twice. You know what the difference is going to be? Nothing. You're still going to go home today. You're going to go back to work. You're going to go back to work tomorrow. You're going to go home with your kids. You're going to do what you need to do.
Okay.
Okay? This is the way the evidence has led to us. We've gone through every single one of those. And it's all the banks, statements, checks, written by you, by Wendy, gone through all of them. And that's how we came up with these numbers.
Okay, so what do I do now?
Tell me about it. Explain to me.
I don't really know,
Okay.
to be honest, so if I'm gonna be accused of it, I guess I do whatever's next. I mean,
Well, Kyle, let me give you an example. Okay.
I would tell you if I stole it,
Okay.
but I didn't, so if I I'm gonna be blamed for it, do what you have to do, I guess. I don't know what to do next.
Talk to me about it.
I can't tell you, because I didn't steal it, I didn't take it. That's all I can tell you.
Can you help me understand
I
that?
struggled working there, like, let alone taking money. If I had that much money, I'd have a lot more than I have now.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Kyle, you would. Okay? This isn't a whole lot of money at one time. It looks like that because it's only on 12 lines. It's a little bit here, it's a little bit there. It's just, it adds up. It's like, do you have a credit card?
No.
No? You ever had a credit card?
Yeah, once.
A little devil machine's work?
Yeah, $300.
So, and all of a sudden, bam, $300 and it's gone, it's maxed out. It's kind of how these things work too. Do I think that you took money and went and did crazy stuff and went and gambled and shit like that? I don't. I think this is something that normally happens of, my kid needs this. You know, I need to pay my bills. It's January, it's freaking cold outside and my heat's gonna get turned off. Like, I need this. Can't ask for Wendy more.
Fuel assistance, I don't need
You know, well, you know what I'm saying though. You know, and can't always run to Wendy and ask for money because I still owe her $2,500. You know, which I can see you paid some of that back, right? We can see that. We can see technically how much you would owe them off of $2,500. Are we worried about that today? No. Is that in any of these numbers? Absolutely not. That has nothing to do with the business. That is person to person. Okay? This is just business money. This is what we're short.
Okay.
What I can see happening, and is what we talked about, is you write a check, it's for, lots of times they were for $500, right? You know, or I think the biggest one I ever saw go through was $2,500, but usually $500 to $1,000. $800 goes into the machine.
I don't remember doing that, but okay.
We could go back, and it's like it's on the checks that you write on the days that were short on the ATM.
Okay.
Not every day, but it's kind of consistent. But when we finish out this report, I want to come to an agreement with you somehow of how this happened. Okay? Am I going to yell at you and be mad at you if you tell me that you did it and it's okay because we understand? Oh, I'm not going to be mad at you at all. This is also kind of business for us. I want to be able, in the end, to keep you working and you at home, but make it so that way we know how this happened and we can close it.
Okay.
Okay? That is what we need to talk about today.
I don't know how it happened, but I'll pay it back.
Okay?
I
You
really
don't
don't know how it
But
happened.
if you didn't do it, why would I expect you to pay it back?
But I don't remember taking money from the ATM. I really don't.
It wasn't specifically from the ATM. Okay? I understand when you write the check for cash, you take the cash back from the bank back to the store. Probably got busy. The store is busy. You're a general manager. You're busy doing manager shit. Okay? The machine probably didn't get filled the second you got back. It is very easy. If there's a stack of money, it's just like, I'm a diabetic. If you put a pile of candy right here and expect me not to have one, I hate to tell you, I'm going to take a piece of candy before it's gone, you know. So that's kind of the things that we understand, but we just need to clear up. We're not out here to put you out.
No, I understand that.
I completely understand your struggles, Kyle. Absolutely. I mean, you were out there busting tail every single day. to feed at home.
Kids are expensive as anything. They're insane. I have 5 people in my family total. And we were talking about it today, just going out to supper. Can't hardly feed them for $50.
We don't go out much.
Right? You got 5 at home plus you and Nate. You know, it's a lot of mouths to feed. I understand. I 100% do. We're not bankers. We're cops. And, you know, we've been in your shoes. So when I say that I understand, I understand.
Well, how do I pay it then?
I want to talk about it. That's our first step of how to get back to make it right.
Okay. I wasn't gonna pay bills if I took it. I didn't spend it on anything else.
I don't believe that you did.
I don't either.
I honestly don't. I don't think that you went out and got your nails and your hair did with it. I don't think you stuck it in a video lottery machine or bought a bunch of booze with it. I honestly think that you bought food and paid your damn bills. To be 100% honest with you, we went through your finances. You don't spend, I mean, there's some stuff from Amazon on there. Who doesn't? Some
That's
things
my
are just,
husband.
well, some things are just cheaper on Amazon, even for your house. I mean, when we look at it, there was, I didn't see a single charge like for something crazy, like a brand new giant flat screen TV. We're not seeing that. I'm seeing bills. I'm seeing you paying your credit card. I'm seeing you pay for things, not silly stuff.
MBU, mortgage, we see all that, Kyle.
Just like you said, I going to Sioux Falls to see a specialist for your kid. It's expensive in the truck. You never hear me chastise you for taking care of your kid. I couldn't imagine how tough that would be. It's a long haul to Sioux Falls from here. I can't say more than we understand. We just need to talk about it.
And I don't wanna go to jail.
Kyle, I don't want to take you to jail. And when I say that, you believe that I mean that from my heart. I do not want to take you to jail.
My kids are all I have.
And I'm not taking your kids from you. We are not questioning how good of a mother you are. I just have to answer a question.
Okay.
Are we on the right path?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kyle. I want to paint you as that person, not somebody that's being distruthful. Okay. Now, we can also see where it kind of gradually increases a little bit. It didn't start off like this, did it?
No.
How would it normally? Tell me how it first started.
What do you need?
With the money not making all of it into the ATM machine. You write the check. It didn't go all to the ATM.
I honestly couldn't tell you exactly how it all went. It just happened like that.
Okay. Let's go into a little bit of detail. Let's just say we're writing a check today for $1,000 for cash in an ATM. But you need the money. What was the transaction? How would you do that?
What do you need?
How would you deposit money into the ATM and balance the books and come away with a little bit of when I mean, I'm sorry, balance the books, I mean, you have to type it into the ATM machine, so the ATM machine isn't off, so it isn't shorting people.
Yeah, I would
You
just.
never did that,
No, I would just type in what I put in.
okay? And then, how much would you normally take at a time?
Probably like $200 if something was due or something at that time.
Okay. Is that what was mainly driving you, was just,
If something was due, then yeah.
okay,
Because
bills?
I would plan to pay it back, and I never did
Okay,
because I never had it.
and we understand. I can't say that enough. Did you ever think of how much money it would actually be? Well, I'm gonna tell you. 2020 is $19,220. I don't know if we're gonna go back to 19 and 18. Did you do it from right at the beginning?
I don't think so.
When do you think you started?
Probably more after the first of the year or so.
Of 19? Okay.
Did you ever pay any back?
I did things like that, yeah.
How would you do that?
I would just put it into the ATM.
So if we were to go back into some of the ATM receipts and sheets that they gave us back when Dave wrote a search warrant, are we gonna find some that are positive? Meaning more money goes into the machine than what the check was written for?
There should be a few of them, yeah.
No, I understand
Like if
this.
I said it was supposed to be 1,000, I'd put 1,200 in there or whatever.
Okay. How many times do you think you did that?
Just a few times.
Just a couple times? In 2020 or 2019?
Somewhere in between there. I don't know the exact dates or times, honestly.
Okay. Like I said, I'm not asking you for a specific day. A year would be great if you knew a year.
I would say 2020 because
Okay. So we're talking, you would take the cash because you know you have bills due.
yeah.
100% understand that. How would you pay those bills with that cash? Would you deposit it into the checking account? And pay online?
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Okay. Because we have, of course, your banking account information.
That's fine.
Okay. And there's a large amount of cash deposits. And when we say large amount, it's, exceeding this. It's exceeding the 19,000. Did you do any other work? Nathan, do any other work for cash that may have got deposited in your account? Sell things, have garage sales, make crafts, sell them?
Oh yeah. I mean, my husband, he sells computers. I mean, he makes computers on the side, and he'd get cash. Yeah.
Okay. Is that normally what would happen?
Yeah, we'd get cash for that.
You would deposit that in your
Or
account?
I'd borrow money. My mom, my grandma. I mean, I've borrowed money from them all.
Okay.
From cash and put it in my bank.
Okay. These are all things that we just have to explain. Okay?
No, that's fine.
One way to explain them, and that's to ask it. And when Dave and I were talking about this a week or two ago, he said lots of good things about you, and
I've even borrowed from my landlord. Linda Lindley.
okay.
Checks in there from her too for $1,000 or more.
There is.
And I paid her back. Well, she just added it to my loan because that's who my landlord is.
And you're buying that on contract with deed, right?
Yeah.
Through them?
Yeah.
Okay. And like I I said before, it is not our goal to take you to jail. We just have to finish this. Okay? Is there any other things that we need to know about the business? Is there any other place where we're gonna fall short
No,
when we finish doing our work?
that's the only place.
Your monthlies, your dailies, your weeklies all seem to be
Yeah, that was.
relatively close. When I say relatively close, that's just, you can't always be zero every day.
Not every time.
Okay, what about food and stuff like that?
We always pay those house charges.
Okay. Is there any time that you did stuff where you got food and didn't charge it
No. I mean, we'd always get free food while we're there.
when you're working?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had to pay for that.
This is what we're going to do. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're gonna finish this report. Okay? If you couldn't tell, it's a little bit lengthy. You're not gonna run away from us and go to Canada or Mexico,
No.
right?
I'm
So
going to do that.
this may take a little bit of time, and we're okay with that if you're okay with that. When we file that report, it's gonna go to the state's attorney's office here in Pearson County. Okay? And the state's attorney's gonna review everything that we have and decide where to go from there. Okay? We were talking today, like I said, there's 3 ways to charge a crime. Obviously, number 1 is out, we're not gonna arrest you. Okay? So there's 2 other different ways that it could happen. It could either go through an arrest warrant, or it can go through a summons and complaint. It's a little bit beyond our span of control past that, okay? So, we talked about if today went kind of the way that we hoped it would, the way that it did, and you're honest with us, we can put our 2 cents in to make it as seamlessly painless as possible, okay? So, if there was a warrant, make it so that you still go to work the next day, okay? You can just take care of it quick. I hope that if the sheriff were to call you, you'd answer like you did today.
Yeah.
You know, do that from now on. So, someday he's gonna call, you know, and it's gonna be, we have a little bit of paperwork to take care of, okay? And
Number 1 goal is not to separate you from the children from your home, Kyle. Not at all.
we do not want to take your children away from you, or take you away from your children. That's a big thing for us. We do need to fix this, okay?
Yeah.
We can do this through court systems and things like that, okay? As long as you promise us you're not going to run away.
No, I'm not gonna run away.
Okay. So, Canada's air quality isn't very good right now anyway.
Neither is ours.
Yeah. So,
Or smoke.
if there's any questions that we have that comes up as we finish this, can we call you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give you my card, and I want you to remember that number, because when I'm working on, if I need something,
Okay.
I'll call you from the number that's on there.
I'll just put it in my phone so it'll come up your name.
Yep. That's
I
fine.
get like so many spam blockers that I don't even know.
Yeah, well, I'm not
That's why I
gonna,
have Dave's number in my phone, so I knew it was him.
sure, I'm not gonna sell you insurance for your vehicle or anything like that, I promise. But, likewise, if you have any questions, you obviously know how to get a hold of Dave. You can reach out to me too, that's fine. If for some reason he's busy, crazy working, because he's a man of many hats,
Yeah.
I will do what I can to get you an answer.
Okay.
This isn't gonna be a fast thing, okay? It's gonna be a while. Okay?
Could be some tough days ahead, but there's ultimately better days in the end. This is the first step, Kyle.
Okay.
You're gonna sleep good tonight. Okay.
Tonight.
Well, I mean, it's it's a big deal, but not really. But it's remedy, and it will be okay. So if you were worried about this when you called, or just on your conscience, it's over with. Okay. Is there any questions you have for us?
Is there anything that I can do for you?
Sure.
Anybody that I can talk to on your behalf?
No.
Okay. You'll let me know if there is.
No idea. Sorry, that's all I. I'll pay it back, I guess, when this is said and done.
I will talk to her. And look, Kyle, Wendy, and Dennis have very, very good positive things to say about you. And when they brought this to my attention, needless to say, they were pretty shocked. Look, as Mark had said throughout his whole conversation with you, we know you're struggling, and we can see where this may have taken place. And it's the same message I'll convey to Wendy and Dennis. But I can't thank you enough for your honesty, though.
This is a good thing. If you weren't honest today, jail would probably be in the near future. Thank you. Thank you.
We don't get to make the decisions ultimately. In the end, the judge is the one who has the final say. But I can tell you right now, for the interim, what Mark and I have to say and our input to the state's attorney means a lot to them. And again, I can't stress enough, our number one goal is not to take you away from your children or your family. They need you. It's never been more evident than it is today how much they need you. And you need them too.
It's going to be all over Eureka.
No.
At some point in time, it'll have to be public knowledge.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. But as of today, the only people that know that we're here talking with you today is us and my boss. I told my boss, but he's in Pierce, so you don't got to worry about that guy. But that's it, and that's where it's going to stay, because it's nobody else's business.
Ever.
Now, Dave may tell Wendy and that. Okay. But other than that, it's just going to be the state's attorney's office. But if questions do arise, I want you to know, though, you call us, please.
And if you need to talk to somebody, call me.
He's not around still to talk to. I'm probably not as good as he is.
I don't know. Yeah, you're very kind. Well, you're a really good lady, Kyle. You really are.
As of everything else, this is how we're going to go forward, though. Okay, is with this amount that we talked about. If anything changes beyond that, or if anything else changes from what we're going to do, we'll let you know. Okay, but he's done a ton of homework.
So the next step is to the state's attorney.
We're going to do a lot of typing first. Okay, so and then after that, then it will go to the state's attorney's office. Okay. So worst case scenario.
And then I'll have a court date or what? Or
Yeah, going forward,
At some point in time.
the state's attorney will decide what route to go. If he asks for an arrest warrant, then I will strongly suggest that it is a PR bond, personal recognizance, which means that you just promise to appear. Okay, you don't come up with any money. We don't actually arrest you and take you to jail. Quite honestly, Kyle, I've worked things a little bit differently. Ultimately, you will end up with a court date. We'll do the processing there, which is fingerprinting and that type of thing. Okay, but that's if he asks for an arrest warrant. He might also consider a summons and complaint. And a summons is summonsing you to do something. A complaint is going to be, you're going to be charged with theft, okay? That's the complaint. The summons is you need to appear on such and such a day. So it's basically some paperwork. So when I call you up, I mean, I don't have to come to your house. If you want to meet somewhere, I can meet you on the roadside and I can hand you, papers and that type of thing, okay? But that would be the next step.
Honestly, nobody knows, not even my husband.
Like I said, there's going to be some difficult days ahead, Kyle, and ultimately those are the decisions that you will have to make. But better days ahead too. I know you're such a good person. This is weighing on you. I could just tell. Today is the first step. First step to better days ahead.
Good, right now?
Yep.
Okay.
If you need help explaining that too, you can call on me, okay? You're going to be okay.
Can't
you.
say thank you enough for being honest with us, okay?
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Dave.